thank you very much for taking the time to come and speak to me. How is the preparation going for the tour?
It's going great. I mean, it's been really good because we kind of test drove all the songs, these brand new songs before we recorded them,
Oh, okay.
which for me is really fantastic because the songs are really they've really settled live now, right? And it means that, this album launch tour it's going to be great because the songs are comfortable. Because, with brand new songs, it's often the case that they take like 9 months to settle, like just by
Yeah.
touring them. And then, you launch the album and you're really not playing the songs to the best of your ability or all of that. So in that sense, it's absolutely great, man, and just can't wait for this album to finally be released.
Oh, yeah, it's coming out soon, isn't it? The 1st of March?
That's it. Yeah,
Very
exactly.
exciting. Yeah, Glenn sent me over the link, so I've been having a little listen to it, um, so that I can do a review and
Yeah, of
everything.
course. Yeah.
Um, but, yeah, it sounds really good. I've sort of had it on in the background, so I like to sort of, like, hear it casually, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. Not
Um,
overanalyze. Exactly. Sure.
yeah, and then I feel like I notice things more.
Yes.
Like, and I'm just like, "Oh, no, I like this one. I like this. Oh, yeah." Sort of thing, or, "Oh, nah."
Sure. Sure. Sure.
But, but yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, how did you come up with the songs? Was it just, like, it's just come through you sort of thing? You just sort of, like, started writing them down and
Yeah. So I mean, I started probably writing, like the skeleton of the songs back in 2022 in between touring.
right?
Because the previous album I think was launched in 2021. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
No, it was 2022. It was launched the previous album. So after we did a bit of touring, that I started, just writing some sort of stuff. Had a bunch of ideas, and then in January of 2023, I got together with like the guys I write with,
Mhm.
and we started, making more sense out of the ideas and trying to finish up the ideas and get everything in. So we managed to write the whole album probably by March, April last year,
Oh,
and
wow.
then kind of, as I mentioned, like, went up on it took them on the road. But yeah, it was a really great process of writing. It really, really was. I feel, me as the artist, if I come up with the initial idea and do you know the main bulk of that initial write, I always know the song is going in the direction that I wanted to go for, whatever, for the album. And then, using Greg and Andy to, you know help finish the songs, especially on the lyric side, and
Mhm.
in certain cases melodies and all that. It really is just fantastic having different minds kind of in the mix of things, to add ideas and have I suppose, a sounding board more than anything.
Yeah, because I suppose with it being obviously a couple of you, someone might think of something that someone else doesn't, and you all put your input in, and yeah, it ends up being something amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's it. It's like, you said it dead right there. It's like someone will think of something and it would be something you would have never thought of on your own, right? It's just not how your particular brain works, but that
Mhm.
his or that person's brain works differently, and then all of a sudden this other great concept comes out, and that's really the beautiful thing about it. But you obviously you got to be like brutally honest with each other too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if an
Oh,
idea is
yeah.
not working, you just go, oh, let's kill that idea.
Mhm.
It's not going in it might be cool, but it's not in the direction that I necessarily am feeling, or whatever the case is.
Well, yeah, as well, you need to perform it, don't you, as well? So
Yes,
if you sort of like have an off vibe with the song, and you every time you play it, you're gonna think, "Why did I let this bit stay in?"
exactly. And it's not just that. It's like, an album kind of is who you are for the next 2 years,
Mhm.
pretty much, on it dictates the songs you're playing live, the songs you're popping into the live set list. And it's kind of how everyone identifies you by your last album. So for
Yeah.
me, that's why I went in a very particular way on this album, is because I wanted to be in that space, for the next 2 years. You know what I mean? A space that
Yes.
I've been wanting to be in for a while, but just haven't got an opportunity to be in.
No, and it's good because some artists don't feel that they can sort of evolve their sound, do
Sure,
they? 'Cause they kind of feel like they might lose fans or, people won't understand. So it's good that you feel that you are able to do that. You want to change your sound in some ways, that you do.
sure.
Um, so
Very
that,
important. I think
people
super
can
important.
identify more with you, like, because
Yes.
it's your feelings, it's your emotions.
100%. It really,
So,
really, especially in the blues. You know what I mean?
mm,
It's a big thing, and it's just that I suppose the platform of the song and the production is just so crucial. To recording an album and how you want to be known as, kind of in the next 2 years. And for me, that's why I went with the most live, raw take on it as I possibly could, you know?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Um, that's one of the best things about it, isn't it? It's getting you into music, sort of thing,
Yes.
like your
Sure.
self into music. Um,
100%.
but it's called where is it? Keeping on, isn't it? Moving on, sorry.
Moving on. That's the one.
Um,
Yeah.
that's it. So, how did you come up with the name for it? Is it just about a new sort of like chapter and like moving on into that?
Yeah. In many senses, it's like obviously the title track's called Moving On, and but I just thought, the whole concept, for the album is about almost forgetting about things that are holding you back in the past,
Mhm.
and really, in a sense, getting back to what makes me tick as a musician, what I love the most. And yes, there's always the risk of people going, I preferred the last album because it was in a different direction, like we were just talking about,
Yeah.
a couple of minutes ago. But for me, that was the thing. It's just moving away from going, oh, we have to have like a radio single on the album. And I know that sounds very short-sighted to not worry about stuff like that, but I find when you focus so much time, especially in this genre, especially in the direction I'm heading in, you
Mhm.
tend to, I think, make music that sometimes is untrue to you as an artist. And it goes in a place where you go, I'm not really proud of that. It's not like something I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, I love it. It's like it might be getting radio play, and obviously radio play helps massively in promoting tours and your profile and all that. But I really wanted to, on this album, step away from that mindset. And that's where that moving on title kind of comes in. Just like move on from that mindset, and really move on, but get back to what you love doing the most.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, like I said before, artists don't always feel that they can evolve their music in some way because of that, and it is kind of sad. I think artists should be quite, feel free to
Sure.
put the music down how they feel. They're the ones that have got to play it.
Yeah.
It's their message to get out to someone, about feelings, an event, something that's happened to them.
Sure.
I I'm I feel really bad for artists that feel that they're restricted in some way.
And I think I agree with you completely. I mean, but I just think that's the industry. It's so competitive these days, and you've got a bunch of people telling you you have to do X, Y, and Z
Mm,
to to progress or to make a success out of it, or whatever it
yeah.
might be. And then that tends to sometimes hold you back, and you move in directions you don't necessarily believe in. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like it's not necessarily a bad direction, but it's not something that does it for you as the artist. So I agree with you
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of artists get told that if they haven't got social media, they need to get it and they need to post, and it's like, if they don't want to, then do they really need to? I mean, I
Yeah.
know it's a good way of getting music out there and things like that, but if I feel like if they feel forced to do that, then whatever content they put up is just gonna be pants.
Exactly. No, sure. True
There's
story.
no feeling there, is there, for it?
Yeah,
So
exactly. And once again, when it gets to the blues, the only thing blues has going for it is the feel, is the feeling and the
Hmm.
simplicity. And you know, that's what this, and roots music in general, but that's what the blues is all about. And if,
Yep.
especially live, and if the audience members can't feel what you're feeling, it's a, I think, a pointless task being up there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Um, you've got obviously your tour coming up. It's a little bit of like a European African tour as well, isn't it? But you're coming
Yes.
to the UK
Yeah.
for 8 dates. You've got such a schedule, seriously. So I was having a
I-
look at it. I was like, "Where's the day off? Where's the?"
Yeah, I know. Like, the believe it or not, the routing's better than 2023's UK tour. I mean, we were bouncing around the UK like literally like from Glasgow to Cardiff, back up to Newcastle, down to Southampton.
Oh
You know,
God.
it was just like insane amounts of driving that we were doing. So this one's the schedule's a little bit more forgiving, you know. But you
Yes.
know, the whole
Yeah.
point is I love playing the UK. I really do, and I've been, you know, touring the UK at least once a year since, I don't know, 2010, 2011 or something like that. You know, and
Mm.
it's just a highlight for me. It's great, you know, and especially launching a new record, and being able to come and share it in the UK and tour it in the UK. It's a special thing for me.
Oh, I bet, 'cause all the fans are gonna be able to hear the new songs live for the first time. But that's quite exciting. Well, nervous and exciting, isn't it? When, they listen to it online, it's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, this is really good, this is really good." And then when they actually hear it live,
Yeah. So
that
now I'm so glad you brought up that point. Now, the reason I went with a very unedited production and very raw production on the album is because I wanted the album to sound as close to a live performance as humanly
okay.
possible. And that's very difficult to do in a studio because
Mhm.
you don't have an audience sitting in front of you in the studio. You know what I mean? It's you and the band and a guy behind the mixing desk. That's what you have. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's difficult to get that across. But you know, but my whole point is I really believe, you know, more so than any album I've ever recorded, the songs will translate as so much closer to the way the album sounds live because there's no trickery in studio here. We haven't added it like a bunch of layers, and you know, don't get me wrong, that stuff's great to do too, but
Yeah.
you know, I just wanted something raw and real that when you listen to it live, you're like, yep, I can identify and relate to it.
Good, good. Because I don't like it, because it's happened to me a few times. An album has sounded absolutely amazing. I've gone to see the band and they're put live.
Yeah, sure.
It's so disappointing
Yeah, it is.
because I've it's just been meddled with too much.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And you know, like as a live artist, you've got so many other factors to worry about having a good show. What's the acoustics in the particular room like? Who's doing the sound? Is that person kind of on it and mixing the sound in a pleasant way? Is it too soft? Is it too loud? You know, and this all the stuff tends to be, you know, for the most part out of your control, especially as a touring person. So you got all
Yeah.
that to contend with. So for me, then adding that extra layer of like, oh, well, we're going to play the songs, but they'll sound nothing like the album because we don't have 47 guitar parts running at the same
Yeah.
time, and extra this and extra that, extra this, extra that, you know, and then it's very difficult. And I've been there before. I've been there on previous albums where I felt the albums were overproduced,
Mm.
and you know, it was difficult to play the albums live because you know you could, of course, you can play them, but the thing is, you've heard the production on the record, and then you listen to it in rehearsal, and then I end up kind of scrapping the song because I'm like, it sounds so much smaller and so much you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that in the set. And then you end up
No.
only playing like one or two, three songs off this brand new album, and the rest is kind of back catalog stuff. Where with this album, I think we'll have maybe two or three back catalog tunes, and the
Mm.
rest will be because we've road tested them live, and you know the studio recording is pretty much us just doing it live.
Nice. Well, that's good. People aren't gonna be standing there going, "Well, what song's this? I don't remember this one."
Yeah, 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 exactly.
So
Sure, sure.
So that sounds good. I like the sound of that. It's sort of being true to yourself as well, isn't it?
Yeah, big time.
Sort of like you can yeah, a producer can do amazing things. I totally get that. But then can the artist pull it off?
Yeah, unless you're touring with five extra musicians, you know, to fit to fill the gaps of all the little extra bits and pieces that were
Yeah.
on the recording. It's like an impossibility, you know?
Exactly, and that's when backing tracks come in, and no one wants that.
Exactly, exactly. Agreed.
So yeah, so I like that you've kept it sort of like unedited as much as possible, sort of
With
thing.
without a doubt, the only time we did overdubs on the record is if we had a brilliant take where the feel and everything was good, and then there was just a disastrous moment or something where you're like, it's not worth redoing the whole thing because we going to capture that great performance again. Let's just
Yeah,
fix that one little weird thing that someone did, right? And then so that's as far as the editing went, you know.
yeah,
But it wasn't like, oh well, let's, you know what I mean, what they do in studios, it gets out of control. Yeah.
yeah. When I've been with my husband, when he's recorded stuff with his bands, I mean, about 3 hours is just sorting out the drum kit. I was like, "Oh, for God's sake, can
Yeah.
we?"
Can we move things on? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. They just kept adding more microphones. I was like, does the drum kit need that many microphones? You know, I'm
Well,
not a producer. I don't know, but it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
come on
sure.
now.
I know it can be a tedious process. You know what I mean? It really,
Yeah,
really can,
just
even for
setting up.
musicians.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy. It really is.
But you've done well. What I've been listening to is really really good on the
Oh,
album, and
thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah, even though you've got quite a hectic sorry schedule,
Yeah.
um, I'm sure it's all going to be amazing.
Oh man, yeah, can't wait because we've had here in South Africa. Obviously, it's our summer now, and we've just had a long summer break, like your guys' July or what, whenever you guys have
Yeah,
that big break in the middle of the year, and it's just so. And I didn't play, so or gig, so I'm quite hungry to get back on the road and performing again.
gonna
Yeah,
bring some of that sunshine here because we are frozen right now.
I know, I
Seriously.
know. Hopefully, by the time I get there in April, it'll be a tad warmer. Let's hope. Yeah.
Yes. I hope so. It's getting ridiculous now. This is like colder than it normally is.
Oh,
I don't
really?
like I don't like it.
Well,
Um,
not to rub it in, but it's now 10 to 9 in South Africa, and I would say we are probably still sitting at about 28 degrees.
oh no.
But it's actually putrid. Like you try and sleep in weather like that, it is just like you
Yeah.
cannot sleep. You've got fans blowing on you, and it's you know what I mean? It does get to a complete ridiculous extreme too here.
I'm still jealous. Just
Yeah.
fans and all, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just a bit of heat.
I
Just
know.
just a little heat would be lovely.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
sure.
okay. I've run out of my questions. Um, but thank you so much again for having a
Anytime.
lovely chat. That was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Excellent. And I am hoping to come along to one of your gigs. I need to sort it out, but hopefully then
Just
I
all,
can see
all you
you
gotta
in
all you
person.
yeah, all you gotta do is just chat to Glenn.
Hmm.
Um, whichever show you want to come down to, just let him know, and I'm sure he can get you a press pass and pop you on the list. Because what he normally does is on the day of the show, he normally WhatsApps me like the guest list, like the press
Oh
and media,
right,
say
okay.
just pop these people on the list at the door. So whichever show you want to put, I don't know where you live in the UK, but whichever one you want to come to, feel free.
Yeah, I'm in Kent, so I'm not far from London. But I was
Okay.
looking. There's a Brighton gig.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a Brighton, Southampton, and a London, then all in that kind of general area. Yeah.
Well, my mum doesn't live far from Brighton, and I
Oh, okay.
absolutely love Brighton. So I was like, well, that's just an excuse for a day out, isn't it?
Yeah, there
So
you go. Well, if you want to pop into the Brighton show, just remind Glenn, and then
yep,
Glenn will send me lists, and I will we'll get it all sorted at the door. Yeah.
fantastic. That is lovely. And obviously, if I don't get to speak to you at the gig, I'm sure it's fine.
We're definitely pop in and say hello. It'll be great to meet you in person.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Okay, I will let you go and enjoy your heat wave. Um, while I go and put another pair of socks on.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
hopefully, yeah, I will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, and have a good evening. All right.
You too. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Bye bye.